And what can people expect from a Mercy Mercy live show?
They can expect me to be hilarious, so they can expect to laugh, and they can expect to cry because my songs are very sad, and they can most likely expect to see my entire family there and expect to see me look amazing and cute.
And to confirm now, you're only 19?
No, I'm 23.
God, okay. I didn't think so. But I read a Spotify bio and I was like, I didn't think 19. That doesn't check.
Yeah.
But I was to believe the Spotify bio. Okay, so 23 years old. Mm-hmm. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, I'm old.
So Cam, are you recording on your end then? Because it won't work for me as well.
As long as you can.
I'll do my audio. Okay, sweet.
Fingers crossed. So I'm recording on everything now.
All right, I'm recording too.
Wonderful. All right, well.
Everyone's recording. Everyone's safe.
We got
I'm
there.
not recording.
No, that's okay. You don't need to. You're the guest. You're fine. Well, thank you for joining us. Mercy. This has been, feels like a long time coming. Not necessarily in trying to get you on for a chat, but just like we've been following your music for quite a long time back when we were doing a radio show and we really liked all of your releases, and you've continued to do that as well with Angel being your most recent release. But thank you for taking the time and joining us on our podcast.
Thank you for liking me enough to listen to me talk.
Well, I don't know about that yet. We like you enough to enjoy your music. We'll be the judge of this by the end.
Oh God. Okay.
But right, well, let's start there with your most recent single. It's called Angel. We featured it in one of our Who's Who articles as well, which I don't expect you to know what that is, but basically one of our favourite releases from the past 2 weeks, and that was one of them. I really like the bass line that just sort of grooves through that song, but that's also a bit of a trend, I think, in general for a lot of your music in particular. But yeah, tell us a bit about Angel.
I just kind of wrote it because I wanted to write a fun song, and everyone kept on telling me that I was writing about the same stuff, which is like, mental health stuff. So I thought writing something that was a bit more fun would be interesting, and it worked out. The song sounds cool, and yeah, it's just about being a bad bitch, but also being mentally ill. So I guess I still wrote about my mental health problems a little bit.
It's interesting. One thing we've always kind of picked up on your music, it's got this, I don't even know the best way to put it. Like, it's like honesty, of course it's honest, but you have this like very direct way of communicating your music. And that's not to say you don't have nuanced lyrics or anything like that, but it's often very direct. Is that an intentional, like kind of stylistic choice by you as an artist? Or is that just kind of how you are and that's leached out into your music?
I think it's just who I am. Like, I'm a terrible liar. I can't tell a lie to save my life. So I feel like, I was just like, I'm just going to be honest because I love when people are honest to me. I don't like liars. I don't like lying. It's way too much effort. So, I hope that made sense. But
yeah. And like, I think like to what Eamonn was saying too, like in the directness point, you're not hiding behind metaphors and, stories of friends or different people. It's very much, this is my experience and bam, this is, very directly what I went through or what I'm going through, how I felt. Yeah, which is, I think, refreshing because we're seeing that trend more and more as more people are speaking up about mental health, but it does feel refreshing just to know that I don't need to try and do a dance in my head to figure out what the song means. It's very obvious a lot of the time. And
we've got these latest string of releases that we've had in 2024. Now, I was looking back and I could have sworn you released like heaps of music this year, but it's actually into last year as well. You've just been very consistently releasing to the point where it kind of feels like, you've almost done an EP already this year. But if we look back to 2023, you dropped your last EP last year, Like an Orchid. And then before that, Is It Me or Is It You was in 2022. So that speaks to your consistency. Are we moving towards another body of work of some description this year?
probably not this year, but definitely early next year there'll be something that's bigger than an EP.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, again, to your directness, there's not too much that left to guesswork with that statement.
Well, I'm not too sure if I'm meant to say anything, which I probably should ask if I'm allowed to or not. Sorry.
Well, look, yeah, check with your people and get back to us, but we can cut that out if you're not supposed to. But yeah, some more music on the way next year from Merci, Merci. Let's go there too with the name Merci, Merci. I was reading up on it, so I do know the background, but could you tell us how you came to get the name Merci, Merci?
Well, my nickname was Mercy with a Y, like throughout my whole childhood. And then my mum said she preferred Mercy with an I because it was cuter. And then I couldn't decide between the two. So my friend was like, just use both. It's very simple. Very simple.
But it's very specific too. It's
But effective.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Mercedes and no one can pronounce it properly. So I didn't want to have that as my artist name.
Oh, so it's not like the car.
How can they not pronounce it properly?
Oh, because there's a double E in the middle. So
Right, so people just go like the car manufacturer,
makes sense, that
Mercedes,
makes
I'm
sense.
guessing.
yeah, but I'm like, ew, no thank you. It's Mercedes.
So we won't expect to see you rolling around in a Merc.
One day I might though, because that would be actually pretty cool.
So being a like super rich Australian musician, you should already have a number of them, right?
Oh yeah, I'm so rich I can't even count how many cars I have. Like a total of 0.
Could we actually genuinely leapfrog off of that, because we spoke in a couple of weeks ago about in our music newses, one of our industry rap things, about how a band like Teen Jesus and the Gene Teasers is even having a hard time making ends meet. And when we look at you are an artist that is undoubtedly very successful. You get like a lot of attention, a lot of radio play, all that good stuff. You make really, really good music. Is that an experience that you've shared as well?
Yeah, I would say that I'm completely broke and the only money I have is from working for my sister. So yes, I do experience the broke life.
Yeah, which is crazy because, as Eamon said, like you're on regular rotation on Triple J, which is, the epitome of Australian artists, where they aim to get to. Your Spotify numbers are good. Yeah, you can't really make a genuine income off music alone, which, I don't know, as an artist, do you have any potential solution to try and fix that because it's a industry-wide problem. It's not specific to, one person or one genre. It is very much a universal thing within the industry. Do you have any, directions you think we might be able to go to try and help resolve that issue?
I don't personally have any idea how we would do that. I just really love music, so I honestly don't really care about money. I don't mind being broke for the rest of my life.
It's a good attitude, though. I think you should be remunerated a bit better. It's like that when we look at like millions of plays should equal millions of dollars, but like it should equal at least like 50 cents a stream or something like that, because you have impacted the lives of that many people. But you mentioned there how much you do love music, and I did want to touch a bit on your journey there. I read that you spent part of your teens in Beijing and also Thailand.
I did indeed.
So what was that for, and how do you think that's impacted you as an artist now and what we see from you now?
Well, my mum had 5 kids. I'm the youngest, and she wanted to travel, but she still had me. And she's a teacher, so she said, let's go overseas. You're coming with me. So that's why that happened. And I think it influenced me a bit because I was Annie in Annie, the musical in Beijing. I wasn't very good, but I did that. So that I feel like that was a step towards me being like confident to sing on stage. Well, not confident, but I sang on stage. So
you sort of got the bug from performing on stage, and then so from that, did you naturally go, okay, now I want to become a musician or I want to perform on stage, or how did you then get into the career path that you're now on?
It took some time, because when you tell people you want to be like a singer-songwriter, they're like, you're an idiot. So, yeah, I didn't start doing anything till I was like 16, 17, and I wrote a song and I showed my mum and my music teacher, and they were like, oh my God, you're amazing. And then I kept going, and that's how I got here.
And to confirm now, you're only 19?
No, I'm 23.
God, okay. I didn't think so. But I read a Spotify bio and I was like, I didn't think 19. That doesn't check.
Yeah.
But I was to believe the Spotify bio. Okay, so 23 years old. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, I'm old.
So, no, not by any means. You wouldn't want to hear how old we are. 40 and 50 respectively. No. How have you found the journey then from 16 making that music to now and being thrust into national spotlight to some degree? I mean, we're going to talk about your upcoming tour, which we'll touch on the Central Coast, but you're hitting all of the East Coast there. So at 23, not 19, how does it feel, from the beginning of that journey from 16 years old? And is this necessarily where you expected you'd be?
I probably expected me to be further along in my career, actually. I totally, as a teenager, thought I was going to be like a superstar already and like have bought like my mum and dad a house and myself a house and loads of cars. She'd be disappointed, but also proud because I'm still doing music and not many people get to do music.
Well, I guess to the point that if you were oh my God, this word again gets us every time. But if you were
we've been done by this before,
rewarded properly for the music you're creating financially, then I think you should probably be at those levels where you can afford to be doing those things. But as we touched on at the beginning, that it's not quite possible in the current landscape here in Australia at the moment. But on that tour, you are playing a show on the Central Coast on the 7th of September, which happens to be my birthday. So a little birthday gig.
Oh my God.
From Merci on the Central Coast down on the peninsula. Have you been to the coast before?
Yes, most likely. I have.
I like the confidence.
Sorry. Thank you.
And tell us about that tour itself. You're hitting Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales. Most of those dates seem to be in Victoria and New South Wales. Is that off the back of this Angel release? And is there more in the works that people might be able to catch at those shows?
I'll definitely be singing loads of songs, and some will be unreleased songs that will then come out, which should be fun. But yeah, I'm very excited just to sing on a stage.
And what can people expect from a Merci Merci live show? Because looking at your Instagram, the glitz and glamour is all time there, and it looks like a fun time, having not experienced it myself. But for those wondering, what can they expect from a show of yours?
They can expect me to be hilarious, so they can expect to laugh, and they can expect to cry because my songs are very sad, and they can most likely expect to see my entire family there, and expect to see me look amazing and cute and awesome makeup.
And how much of the look that you go to for a live show, is that all done by you? Do you have people that sort of help you out around that? And then is that sort of quite important to you in the way that, you have a consistent look throughout all of your tours? Do you change it up from show to show? What's your sort of routine around that?
It really just depends how I'm feeling that day. Like if I'm feeling super sad, I need to do the most makeup possible so I feel like a completely different person. But if I'm feeling good that day, then actually I still just do the same. I just do a lot of makeup all the time, and I do it myself because I love makeup so much. And if I could have my way, I'd get my sister to dress me every time because for some reason she's good at everything, and that includes clothes.
And you mentioned that your whole family might be at that show. Does that include, you're the youngest of 5, so does that include all 4 siblings, parents, the whole kit and caboodle?
It will probably include my sister and her husband, maybe, and my mum and my dad, but probably not my brother Geordie because he's an introvert like me, and my other 2 brothers live in San Francisco, so they won't be there because they're rude.
It's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah, that's rude.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, living on the other side of the world. No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think they should just be here.
It's true.
We need to package that up, and then you can just send this little clip to them, or if they listen back to this, this is the moment where you book the plane ticket.
Oh, yeah. Right now. They should have done it weeks ago, but they didn't.
So you and your sister then, I'm gathering that you're quite close because you said that you also do work for your sister as well, which is how you get your income. Are you close in age, or you just always been, really close and good friends?
We're 16 years apart.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So she has a husband and 2 kids.
Beautiful.
I was not I wasn't necessarily expecting you to be, 8 months apart, or I was thinking probably within 2 or 3 years, but 16.
Yeah, no, we have different dads, and she's 39, and she's the second oldest. So we're quite far apart in age, the siblings.
But not in anything else by the sounds of it, particularly if she's doing the dressing, or if you could have her dress you every time, then you would. I also read when we were looking at that you frequent Jindabyne a bit. And I'm interested in that dynamic bouncing between Sydney and Jindabyne. How much do you think that plays into your music, the landscape that you're surrounded by, and the different conditions? Because obviously that's snowy country.
I think the only good thing about Jindabyne was probably my music teacher and the landscape and some of my friends. But I don't think it really influenced my music that much, apart from high school drama.
And are you based specifically or usually in Sydney now?
Oh yeah, I haven't been to Jindabyne in years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is this same bio that I'm reading.
The research is doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well, it's just Spotify bio.
Well, I need to change that ASAP.
No, keep it.
We're looking at 4 years old, I think, that bio. So it was updated towards the start of COVID and then hasn't been touched since.
Oh, well, that's good. That's very on top of it. I'm very on top of things, as you can see.
How much of it do you manage in-house as well, and how much of it is that down to your team?
I don't really do anything. I don't like to do anything, honestly. Anything to do with technology, I don't want to do. But obviously I have to, like social media. But
so you're literally just saying, I just want to make music, and then my team around me will help that become as successful as possible. Is that sort of your mindset towards it? Like you just enjoy creating and you let everyone else control everything else?
Yeah, I just want to make music, sing and be cute while doing all of that, and then get famous. And they help me do that. That'd be lovely.
It's a simple 3-step process.
Can't go wrong.
And if we project ourselves forward 5 years, and this is your trajectory as an artist has been up and up and up, for as long as we've been following you. How do you see it tracking? If you can cast your mind into the future, we know you have teased that presumably an album is coming presumably next year, assuming we don't have to cut that out. But how do you see things progressing from this point, knowing what you've got in store and also knowing that your trajectory so far has been linear upwards?
I don't really know. I'm not very good at seeing into the future. It makes me extremely anxious. So I like to just stay where I am and then hope, have my fingers crossed and hope that the future looks sick for me.
So if I said to you, all right, here's here's Netflix, pick a movie, you're probably not picking a futuristic sci-fi film.
Well, I do really like a good time travel anime where they go back into the future to try and save their loved one from dying. Those are good, but if I was in that position, I think I would just crawl into a ball.
It's a lot of pressure.
And die. Yeah. Got to save someone's life.
Yeah, the whole life-saving thing is pretty significant.
Yeah.
If you could, I'm going to steal this question from a different podcast. If you could go forward in time or back in time, what would you prefer to do and where would you go?
Oh, do I change things or I can't change things?
No, so you can go back in time and do something, but it's not going to change our current. And then likewise, if you go into the future, it's not going to change. It's not going to upset the timeline.
Oh, I'd probably go into the future because I've already seen the past and I honestly do not want to go back there. So definitely the future.
Yeah, it's interesting. 'Cause what about you, Amy? If you had that option, what would you do?
Probably the future. The past, like, you know, like we haven't seen it, but I've got to, like, I've seen some photos and all that. And, you know, the future, there's no photos of. So I'd kind of want to see what we get up to or what destruction is wreaked on the planet. One of the two.
Yeah, it could be quite scary, actually, looking into the future. Because then the other thought is if you go to the past, you could go and see like an iconic Queen set at Live Aid. Like you could be at Live Aid for that set. You know, when the Aussie pub rock scene was rocking, you could, you know, experience that instead of going, oh, my parents told me it was awesome.
I thought you only said 4 years.
Did I specify 4 years?
4 years. I don't know. Maybe I made that up.
Okay, well, it's...
Lucky this is recorded. We can go back and check.
If you could go forward in time or back in time, what would you prefer to do? And where would you go? You can go back or forward as far as you like. Does that change your answer?
Yeah, I'd definitely go into the past.
You would, and what would you do?
Ooh.
Probably go and like see what my mum was like and then go see what my dad was like
No, that's a good answer.
and see if they were little poo heads because then I could make fun of them.
Oh, yeah, well, I went back in time and I saw when you were 21 and you wouldn't even want me to explain to you what I saw you doing.
Oh, yeah, that would be so good.
Yeah, the trump cards you could hold.
You could seriously dig some dirt.
Yeah, because I guess if you could only go back 4 years, that's like peak COVID. So, yeah, that's a horrible reason to go back in time. So I can understand why you went forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start back to the middle of the pandemic and live that again. Sounds unreal.
No, thank you.
Well, you spoke about the pub rock scene, Cam, that was bustling, and I would say, I'll have you know, Merci Merci is playing the Everglades in Woy Woy on your birthday, September the 7th, being part of the pub rock revolution, which we are seeing on the Central Coast a lot more. I mean, even the gigs that are happening at the Everglades are relatively new, or at least in the scale that we're seeing them now. So, Merci Merci, we really do look forward to seeing you on the Central Coast's shores, and people can expect, as you said, laughing, crying, being really popular and cute, I think you said, all of that to look forward to. So head to Merci Mercy's Insta, links there to get tickets. It's the Angel Tour. And can we have any teasers of anything coming up before the year is out, if you're able to release?
Well, there's too many options for singles, and I don't think I've chosen one yet.
Do you want to run a couple past us and we can help you pick one?
That's a good one. No, I will not.
Worth a
You'll
shot.
have to wait.
She's good. Well, those wanting to catch it, get yourself down to Everglades Woy Woy on September 7. And there's a string of other dates if you're a bit further afield from here on the Central Coast. You're coming with Caroline and Claude as well. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you. I can't wait to do it.
Just on Caroline and Claude as well, they were another artist who we played in our radio days. And they have, I guess, a similar sort of, you know, fun, upbeat, like bassy sort of vibe to them. Did you pick them specifically for that sort of reason? Was it a label choice? How did you come to picking them to be supports?
The label not the label. Sorry, I just burped. You can cut that out.
No, we'll keep that in.
Don't do that. I will sue you with all the money I have. I got sent a list of people from the booking agent, and I clicked on their Spotify page, and before I even listened to any songs, I just loved like the picture that came up, and then I listened to the songs and they were epic, so I was like, obviously.
Would you have picked them solely based off a photo if you couldn't have listened to their music?
100%.
Like, was anyone else in the running after you saw the photo and the music was just kind of like confirming it?
Yeah, I don't think anyone else was like giving as much.
So do what Caroline and Claude do. If you want to tour with Merci Merci, let that be a warning to all artists out there.
On, I guess, like music and different I guess, people trying to get on tour with you. But for you, when you were, saying, okay, I want to become a musician, who were some of the people that influenced you to get into music, and, whose art did you like listening to? It's a weird way to phrase it, but I've never phrased it that way before, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I really loved Amy Winehouse because, I felt like she was like super honest. And I love honesty, obviously, as I told both of you. And other than that, just everyone that sung. Oh, Lily Allen, I listened to because my sister told me to. Anyone my sister listens to actually probably inspired me. And my sister herself. My sister is the reason why I am me, and that is it. Goodnight. That's the answer. Sorry.
Is that how you're wrapping up your show at Everglades on the 7th of September?
Yeah, 100%. I'll say I'm actually not even Merci. I'm indeed my sister.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Was there musical influences through your family, or are you the white sheep in terms of being the artist within the family?
Nope. My eldest brother was a DJ, and then the one down from that, Jaren, she did musical theatre, and then she became a jazz singer. And then the other brother, I think he was in a band, not too sure about him. Then the next brother, he was in a band, and he was also in my band for a bit. And he also paid for me to get my first song recorded, and then he put it on Unearthed. And yeah, and then there's me. So I think it was a given that I was going to do music from that explanation of mine.
Definitely. There's a strong musical influence there, or musical history within the family there.
Yeah.
Which means they should all get to your show at the Everglades at Woy and fly over from San Francisco, right?
I know. It's actually ridiculous they're not, and I think I'm going to disown them.
We'll work on the press release.
The brother who helped pay for your first song and put it up on Earth, is he one of the ones in San Francisco?
Yeah, he left me. He was in my band, and then he left, so... bit rude.
What's in San Fran that the opportunities you don't have to play in your own sister's band? It's a bit rude.
Well, he did meet a girl, so...
You know what? I have well, it's probably nowhere near the same, but my best mate had a very similar story, and he's now in Canada, so can relate to someone close to you jetting off to the other side of the world for love.
Well, he didn't move there for love. He moved there and then found love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the love is what
But
kept
it
him.
just-
Arguably worse.
Yeah. So now I'm never going to see him again. No, I'm kidding. I just saw him. He visits all the time.
Well, shout outs to that brother, and shout outs to all your siblings for influencing Merci, who we have now. It has been so great to speak to you and get an insight into the Merci mind. And for those again who want to see the live show, it's Everglades Woy. It's 7th of September. Cam's having his whole birthday party there, so make sure you get along, and we can't wait to see you there.
Thank you so much for having me, and good night.
This podcast, the best podcast you've ever listened to, which I heard you just say after you finished the podcast, but it's not over yet because you're hearing me say this now, but this podcast was produced by Cameron Smith, my good friend. So I hope you enjoyed it. All of our work is done on Darkened Jungleland, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And for everything Homebrewed, find it at www.homebrewed.au. Bye.